Swipe left, someone said something stupid. Swipe right, now I'm watching what you did. Power down, now I'm at a disadvantage, but I think that it's worth it. I put my headphones on, I play my favorite song, I go to sleep and try again. Mama used to try and tell me no man is an island, but I think I feel like drifting away. Mama used to say tomorrow never comes, so make the most, but I think I am done with today. I am done with today. Boss says, man, you gotta make an effort. Feel like all I do on earth is just say yes, sir. And when I tell people how they make me feel, boss says, they treat me like a leper. I put my headphones on, I play my favorite song, I go to sleep and try again, again. Mama used to try and tell me no man is in a sleep, but I think I feel like drifting away. Mama used to say tomorrow never comes, so make the most, but I think I am done with today.
I got a bottle of Patron and some lights off, 2 red devil looking eyeballs, and I'm finna turn up when the night falls. If you hear a siren, then it's my fault. Jump in my whip, baby, let's ride. We ain't gonna stop at a red light, and I'ma take shots like a Tag 9. It's gonna get live. Here we go, it's about to go down. Let me know, I'ma buy another round. Get low, drop it down to the ground. Oh yeah, wow, shorty make it bounce. Mama see the put cuffs on my cardiac. Took my breath away like a heart attack. And I'ma spend every dime and my money back. Everybody wanna know. If you're ready, let me know. Let's go. If you're ready, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. If you're ready, let me know. Here we go. Let's go. I got a bottle of Grey Goose and ice cubes. Have a drink that'll put me in the right mood. 80 proof's gonna lower my IQ, and I've been the same way since high school. I look shorty right in her brown eyes. She about to take a trip to Cloud 9. I'm the man, baby, I get the crowd hype. I turn the cadence of a hook into a soundbite. Here we go, it's about to go down. Let me know, I'ma buy another round. Get low, drop it down to the ground. Oh yeah, wow, shorty make it bounce. Mama see the put cuffs on my cardiac. Took my breath away like a heart attack. And I'ma spend every dime and my money back. Everybody wanna know. Let's go. If you're ready, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. If you're ready, let me know. Here we go. Let's go.
Раз. Раз. Все, извиняюсь. Так, значит, все прослушали. Периодически такая беда случается. Извиняюсь, ребят. Переподключил просто микрофон, и все теперь будет хорошо. В общем, ребят, мы с вами дождались. У нас сегодня с вами просмотр Funcom стрима. Узнаем подробности. Привет, Осирис. Привет, Звадимкас. Если правильно прочитал. Извини, если неправильно прочитал. Спасибо большое. Ребят, как слышно меня и как слышно вообще Twitch, чтобы нам с вами и меня было слышно хорошо, и чтобы Twitch в то же время вы тоже хорошо слышали. Потому что я, конечно, попытаюсь переводить, но я явно не смогу перевести все. Английский у меня такой, знаете, на уровне... Ну, может, чуть получше серединки, чуть-чуть. Twitch не слышно. Давайте будем делать громче, значит. Ну, там такая, знаете, музыка сейчас лайтовая очень играет, а-ля Конан. Ну, в общем-то, мы видим с вами, ребят, трейлер, который мы уже видели, о котором мы говорили.
This is the other half of the genre that's been missing. On top of that, we've got updates to the building system.
It's going to have a battle pass, perks and attributes revamp.
And shop as well, called the Black Lotus Bazaar.
Это тот самый тизер, который я немножечко укоротил. Я вырезал просто разработчиков, а все остальное, в общем-то, сохранилось.
Sorcery is absolutely imperative to the world of Conan. When the genre was having its name coined, it literally became half of the name, sword and sorcery.
We've always wanted to add sorcery to the game. We think it's a part of the game that needs to be there.
Мне вот эта вот часть понравилась, где такой мост ледяной. Мне интересно, это заклинание такое или это просто специально выстроена была локация для презентации?
Focusing and amplifying sorceress energy. And as you select different words of power, you'll be building different spells.
Такой в инвизе пробежал.
Sorcery is broken up into two different parts. There's rituals and spells. Rituals are more kind of the crafting side of it, where you...
Ну, тут действительно, тут он рассказывает о том, что как раз таки магия разделена на две части, о чем я говорил. На ритуалы и непосредственно на заклинания.
Tons of different rituals. Necromancy, for instance, allows you to summon the dead or create undead mounts. A couple other rituals we have are integrated into the fast travel system that we're implementing. So we have one that's kind of a set of teleporter pads, and you'll need some blood and some brimstone to fire that pad up.
Было бы здорово, ребята, если кто-то на ютубе есть, отпишитесь, пожалуйста, чтобы я проверил, чтобы у меня чат тоже работал, чтобы я вас видел.
So it allows players to look how they want without sacrificing the stats that they want to have with their equipment.
We've also wanted to go through and address all of the perks that we felt were sort of underperforming.
Такая шишка стягивает.
Essentially, we've blown up the entire system and made a new meta. We have some great surprises, and we are really changing the way that Conan Exiles plays on all of.
Вот здесь я немного не понял, то есть часть от corruption зависит, а часть зависит, я как понимаю, наоборот, если ты не corruption будешь. Да, есть. Приветствую, приветствую, Саксели. Спасибо. Потому что вот часть перков, как мы видим, такое ощущение, вот фиолетовые, они это corruption. Иван Ротарь, привет. Спасибо. Вам приятного просмотра, ребят.
When we first started working on the game, we implemented the building system in a particular way.
But since then, a lot more survival games have come out that have made us realize, hey, we can do a little bit better.
Truthfully, I think the old building system was a little difficult to use with the gamepad. However, with this new system, it's designed to be used with the gamepad, and I think it's going to be so much easier for people.
It takes all the crafting recipes, all the building items that you've unlocked.
Построечка прикольная, мне нравится.
You can go to the section you want, find the piece you want, and it's a lot simpler.
The creative mode is incredible. You get this admin panel, it unlocks all the building pieces, and you can create your perfect home or castle.
Вот Creative Panel, я как понял, это та же самая административная панель, Пипи, только более дружелюбная к игроку. То есть она будет встроена.
Some building pieces are part of the Battle Pass, and others are going to be in the shop. In the Battle Pass, we have sorcery-themed building pieces, which are built to complement and supplement the existing base building sets.
The main reason we're doing the Battle Pass is so
И вот наш Battle Pass любимый. Ну, как видим, здесь постройки, какие-то свечи, стенка, банки с ядом и еще что-то, какие-то монетки. Ну вот, по крайней мере, в той части, которую они показали. Я надеюсь, что они более подробно об этом расскажут.
The first is to play the game. Every day you'll be given a series of challenges, and when you complete one of those challenges, you claim the experience from it, and then that challenge is replaced with another one. If you don't want to play to unlock everything in the Battle Pass, you can also purchase levels in increments of 1, 5, and 15. So for those of you who have less time, that option is there as well.
So we won't have cosmetic DLCs like we did in the past with the culture packs. We will have battle passes and ages instead.
We are going to have multiple sorcerer-themed armor and clothing options. Some of them will be in-game and craftable. Others will be offered as part of the Battle Pass or as part of the shop.
We're also adding an item store to the game, and this will allow players to have more of an a la carte option for what they want to buy.
Нет, ну это все окей, а как это повлияет, интересно, на игроков, действительно, которые играют в локалке? Какой просто смысл покупать человеку, кто играет в локалке, какие-то вещи вообще в принципе? Видите, Q3.22. Обнова нет, она еще не вышла, сегодня вот они ее презентуют. То есть, когда она выйдет, сегодня скажут. Но вот судя по тизеру, шляпа просто божественная.
Update 3.0 Age of Sorcery. My name is Andy Bendit.
I'm Nicole.
Dennis. And we are here live in the Durham, North Carolina studio. It actually has been quite some time. I think our last stream was like 8 months ago, so I'm just like...
It was a while. Yeah.
It's been a while. Just trying to get back into the saddle. I haven't been in front of the camera in a little while, so pardon me if I'm a little...
Oh, it's an exciting time, though.
Yeah, plus, like, yeah, this is an exciting, like, this will be an exciting stream. This will be an exciting time. We're going to be going into a bunch of details about all things with this update.
Что качество какое-то не очень. Сейчас я попробую, ребят, качество получше сделать.
We saw plenty over the weekend as well, and so we'll work to certainly address as much as we can during the stream. We're going to go over a lot, so like buckle in. This might be a long stream. We were originally planning like maybe like an hour, hour and a half. Don't be surprised if we go over like 2 hours at this point. But yeah, so today we're going to be going over everything to do with the Age of Sorcery update coming up in quarter 3 2022. We'll be talking about sorcery and how...
Ну вот, он сейчас сказал, что релиз, который релиз будет Q3 2022. То есть в этом году. То есть что они планируют добавить в этом году?
So,
any forward from you, friend, before we jump into things?
Yeah. So we know there's going to be a lot of questions about this, and if it looks like I'm reading off script a little bit today, I did prepare a lot of notes so I don't get anything wrong. Because a lot of the stuff we'll talk about today, we know for a lot of people can be touchy. So to talk about the Battle Pass and the Bazaar to begin with, as we started to get into the features that we're putting into this update, we decided that we had to have a new monetization method for Exiles. We knew that if we made Exiles, it had to be free, or sorry, if we made Sorcery, it had to be free, and it had to be for everybody. So we didn't want to have to make a DLC and ask you to pay for a feature that should be part of the core fantasy of the game. So we decided we'd have to create an update that can both ship the sorcery and generate revenue at the same time. And we decided to develop these features to support the future of the product as well. We do want to move Exiles into being more of a fully supported games as a service kind of product, and this helps meet that end. So if you're an Exiles player now, and probably a lot of you are, there aren't a lot of ways when it comes to DLC for you to get your hands on new content. We've released a handful of culture packs that give you an assortment of armor and building pieces and other miscellaneous cosmetics. But for the most part, there isn't a lot of opportunity to invest more in the game that you want to play. So these new systems will let us offer more items at a faster rate and let you pick and choose the things that you actually want to get. So whenever a new pack of stuff comes out, maybe you don't really care about the building pieces and you just like to get the armor or the weapons. And that'll be a choice with these pathways. And there are no paywalls in our system. Nothing will prevent you from experiencing any content in the game. We'll not sell power in the shop of any kind. It'll only be novelties. And there's no need to buy anything if you don't want to. I've put a lot of effort into this personally to make it as non-intrusive or non-invasive as possible.
Ну, то есть он сказал, что не будет входить в Battle Pass ничего имбалансного, будут постройки, различные косметические предметы. Как дополнение, грубо говоря. Как, в общем-то, что сейчас из себя из DLC представляют. Только это будет Battle Pass'ом.
So let's see how this works. Okay, so here is what the Battle Pass will look like. You might have seen this in the trailer that we just aired. Dennis, can you walk us through like kind of what we're looking for, clarify things, or if there are any questions previously, if there's anything you want to touch on from here?
Yeah, I think the first thing to talk about is just like a tiny disclaimer that
Small.
all the stuff that's in the trailer
A little.
and things we're showing on stream today are still a work in progress. So we have the little disclaimer in the corner of the stream. We had to, make the trailer to show everything to everyone to get them excited about it, but a lot of the details that you go in and fish and check out will be a little bit off for what they would be in the end. I know a lot of things that people do ask about in terms of the shop itself is like, are these the prices, and the prices themselves are even still a work in progress. I had a conversation about it just this morning briefly. But yeah, looking at the Battle Pass, what we're seeing here is basically...
Ну, как мы видим, то есть доспехи, какая-то плитка, маунт, ну или это просто внешка для собаки, повязка на глаз и движение, танец. Стенки, опять внешка.
Paying into the Battle Pass to get all of the rewards, there's still some little
опять стены.
Pull out of it. And then like you can see, so these are the first two like pages of the Battle Pass, and so you can see a few examples of the items that are pretty clearly marked as.
В общем, ребят, это те же самые DLC, которые были по сути, только они реализованы будут по-другому по факту.
And then all this stuff is accessible from like the very top menu there, and so it's just an option that you can just select once you go to that menu.
I can go into a bit about the structure of the Battle Pass also,
sure.
the way that we'll lay things out. So whenever we decided again that we wanted to put a Battle Pass in, to me it felt very important that we try to integrate that with the world and the story of Exiles as much as possible. There are a lot of games that have a Battle Pass and it's just kind of this tacked on monetization thing that's in there, and I was like, if we do this and we make it part of the game, we should try to make it part of the world too. So with every Battle Pass, you'll see as you scroll through the pages, there's a there will be a series of tableaus that unfold and tell a story about something that has happened or happening in one of the maps. So the current one for Age of Sorcery is a series of events that is occurring in the exiled lands. And as you go through and complete the different pages of the Battle Pass, the little text doc, there's a little scroll up in the corner and some text will reveal and kind of lead you along what the story is.
That's the stuff.
Двойная стена, да, появилась.
Anyway, yeah, way in the top left of our screen there, you can see it's a bunch of gibberish.
Но они говорили, что они стройку переделают и будут вообще нерфить все вот эти вот постройки, которые там в текстурах строили. Я думаю, что они сегодня более подробно об этом расскажут.
And as you're unlocking this experience in the Battle Pass, you're gaining the knowledge to read the runes. And so the structure for the Battle Pass is going to be such that we have ages, like Age of Sorcery, and then each age will be broken down into several chapters. And those chapters will be where we hit the big content updates. With each one of those chapters, we'll not only be adding new things in the shop and new rewards in the Battle Pass, but we will be adding new playable content or major updates to
Вот стена, да, мне действительно нравится, что она такая, в высоту сразу двойная. Прикольно.
So that's the way we'd like to follow through with that going forward.
Yeah, and all those like major gameplay features, like we're committing to not having, like, you know, that will be just added to the game as like part of the base game. Exactly. You don't have to you don't have to buy anything to gain access to it. Just like sorcery, right? So like there'll be a battle pass, but like, you know, anything new and exciting we do add, like that'll be available for everyone.
Yeah, a big part of the reason we wanted to go down this route is because it lets people opt in and support us when they want to, or just if they see something really cool they want to have. And then that helps us actually fund further development of the game, so we can make all of our other features coming out.
Это интересно, что это за монетки. Крутяк грядят. Привет, Зарсел. Но они вскользь сказали, что в третьем квартале 22-го. Я думаю, что они сегодня более подробно об этом еще скажут. В общем-то, это по трейлеру видно было. Да и будьте. Little.
So thank you for that. Yeah. And so next I wanted to touch into, so you had mentioned how, so challenges, that is the primary method of one.
Это есть третий квартал, да?
Level up the battle pass, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
Это август-сентябрь.
Cool.
There's a lot of details for challenges as well. I know like a lot of questions have been raised about them already as well. And I have a list of some stuff that I'd like to go through just so I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
Добавили вот челленджи еще. Ну, они, по сути, и были, просто их оформили.
Challenges give Battle Pass experience and levels, and as you progress through the Battle Pass levels, you can claim the rewards, as I mentioned before. There are 60 rewards in our Battle Pass at present, and if you don't own the Battle Pass, you can still earn about 12 of those rewards, like I mentioned before. Owning the Battle Pass lets you claim everything at no additional cost. So there is a cost to purchase the Battle Pass, and once you spend that amount of money, you'll be able to claim everything for each level that you
Наверняка.
There's also a premium battle pass that all it does on top of the normal battle pass is grant you 15 additional levels. So as soon as you buy it, you get 15 unlocks right away, no matter where you're at. The levels are linear, so there'll always be 1000 experience to complete.
Визуала, возможно. Но вот сейчас они объясняют по челленджам, и я как понимаю, они говорят о том, что эти челленджи будут ежедневные, и при их выполнении ты что-то там будешь получать, и по сути сможешь в Battle Pass'е что-то приобретать. У тех, у кого примак, ну вот у кого есть Battle Pass, те могут ну, челленджи вот эти реролить. Если я правильно понял.
So you can miss 4 days of playing the game, come back, and still have 25 total multipliers to be able to go through and do all the challenges you want and still get that bonus XP to prevent you from...
Ну, если мы сможем его купить, это тоже такой вопрос.
Also reroll challenges. I know one of the questions someone asked was, can you pay for rerolls? But I think that
here... Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so this... Those are dice now.
Yeah, the icon in the video was temporary. It was a copy over from the shop where you can purchase Crom coins. And we've done a lot of work on the UI since then to make things more clear where things can be bought and can't. Similarly, with the remaining XP boosters thing up in the corner, I changed that text to say XP multipliers remaining because it sounds less like...
Что вот это за опыт, интересно?
And we don't really want the people to have the illusion that we're just trying to nickel and dime people and, you know, hit you with as many like microtransactional dark patterns as we possibly can. That's not the case.
Right.
We avoid them as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, so don't worry. I know, that was definitely something that came up. So yeah, and then...
Викинг, привет.
In addition to that, so like there's the multipliers, but then once you use up your day's multipliers, like you can still like infinitely complete challenges.
Yeah, if that's the thing that like you're motivated to do because it gives you a goal or something you want to do, the challenges are there for you to keep going through them. You just want.
Мне вот интересно, что это за опыт.
Another artifact of the past is that these all say 2x on them. So I know some people have already done the math to try to figure out how long it would take you to finish the battle pass. Those values, the XP...
Ну это как прогресс, видимо, Battle Pass. Там опыт будет двигать тебя дальше к следующим наградам. Да-да-да.
There's that, and the multipliers are going to be 10x by default now too, so it's going to be much faster than you would have calculated based on the release video, the teaser video. I do also have information on how long we expect it to take to complete the battle pass, but I'll get to that when I get to it in my notes. The battle pass can be completed purely by finishing challenges, so you'll never be asked to pay again after you buy the battle pass. If you complete the majority of the battle pass, and I think this is up to like level 57 or somewhere abouts, you'll be refunded for the cost of the battle pass throughout the progression through it. So you see in some points on the track we give you Crom coins. Those in the end will total up to be the entire cost of the battle pass. So theoretically, if you buy one battle pass the first time and you complete all of them up to that point that you participate in, you will always get your Crom coins back.
Киана, спасибо за подписку.
At no additional cost. It's like you buy the battle pass once, as long as you don't spend those Crom coins, you can keep buying each successive battle pass.
Ну вот вверху, да, видно, то есть 1000.
Progress that everyone makes in the battle pass. If we feel it's taking too long for too many people,
дети прям уже с Battle Pass. Привет, Артур. Ну да, что-то напоминает.
That's right. It'll be a change on our side that just automatically goes out to everybody. When you get new challenges, you'll get the new data and you'll be able to keep up with everybody else. We base the amount of time needed to complete the battle pass on someone being active twice a week for at least an hour per session. So most of the challenges you get will be completed when playing normally. And you'll get, if you get challenges that you don't think you complete, that option to reroll is there as well. I believe right now we give 3 rerolls per day, and 1 reroll changes all of the challenges. So if there's something in that list of 5 that, or anything in that list of 5 doesn't suit what you want to do, you have 3 chances a day to just completely get rid of those and look for something else that's more suited to what you might want to do. And I think that's pretty much the majority of what I have to say about the challenges at the moment.
Cool.
There's a lot of, you know, one of the notes you left was there's a lot of really.
Ну, в общем, в Battle Pass ничего такого страшного по факту нету. Вопрос просто, насколько это надо в соло-игре. Это же не ММО.
It's essentially a really quick little R&D thing we did where we were like, hey, it would be cool to be able to place decals on the wall or on the floor, or, you know, just be able to decorate more. So it's kind of just a little thing you make at the dyer station and the bench, and you can just spray like an image of a rhino on a wall or something like that.
Sweet, nice.
Oh, also item illusions are a really good thing to talk about.
Yes, we can talk about that. Let me pull that up. Actually, that's under my other stuff, but let's show that off now.
And we have a lot of questions, and we'll probably answer, I mean, not all of them, but as we go through. But we may have answer questions maybe if we have time.
Yes, certainly, I think. And then certainly we'll work to answer questions, or like, you know, as we're progressing through like our points, hopefully we are able to answer some questions that may have already come up. But if you see anything particularly pertinent or being asked a ton, don't be afraid to just like bring it up, and we can be fine with that.
There's one in particular that I saw a lot was if this is just official or if it's also for private.
Yeah, so the battle pass and the shop will be on all servers of all types. They'll be on official servers, private servers,
появятся станки,
and single player.
где внешку можно будет менять.
You'll be able to participate in the battle pass and purchase things from the shop if you want to.
Sweet.
Но это все есть в модах. Вот какой понт.
Weapon illusion system. See if I can just,
Чтобы было веселее играть на официальных серверах.
set that up. Okay. So, we're adding an illusion system to the game. And so, at one of the new stations that you can build, I believe it's called the Thaumaturgy Bench here, you can make a weapon look like a different weapon. Now, there are some restrictions to that. They have to be of a like type. So, like, you can't make a short sword look like an axe or like a hammer or something like that. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have to be able to...
То есть внешку можно заменять только на одинаковые предметы. То есть меч на меч, топор на топор. Игровые приставки. Ну, да, понятно, что на официале просто их нет, поэтому... В общем-то, это, да, это хорошее изменение для тех, кто любит, предпочитает играть на официальных серверах, конечно.
Or check out, and we can make a version of it that you can use in the Thaumaturgy bench, even if you don't know how to make the items. So here you can see in the video it says these items aren't compatible.
Yeah, because I'm trying to take
you don't know how to.
Well, it's because it's a different type of weapon. So I'm taking I'm taking a steel short sword and trying to make it look like the Yamatai Naginata, different types of weapons. But then I swap, I take the appearance of the Yamatai Assassin's Blade, which is a one-handed sword, which then can take the appearance, for example.
So that's the only restriction, is it has to be, like Andy said, the same type. You can make any
two-handed
axe look like any two-handed axe. You can make any chest piece look like any chest piece. All you have to do is know how to make this bench and know how to make the items that you want to combine.
Ну, отчасти, да, конечно.
So that's a cool thing that we're going to be adding, and then also like kind of gives us extra options.
Чтобы у тебя появилось явное понимание того, что ты делаешь, и какая-то награда за это. Сейчас же все по этому пути в основном идут.
In addition to like actual crafting recipes or something like that. Just as an example, but this will be a system that will launch.
Привет, Вирус, привет. Привет, дружище.
I want to throw in one clarification.
Everyone's just leaving now. That's fine.
At some point, you know, as soon as we start answering more questions, probably we'll have less people, right? But while everyone's still here, our monetization expert wanted me to chime in and say that the amount of time we base our play session
Нам нужен переводчик. Но я вкратце, то есть, говорю, о чем они говорят. То есть вот сейчас у них идет речь о так называемой трансмодификации, да, то есть когда ты предмет просто внешку меняешь у предмета, и, соответственно, что предметы можно поменять внешку только на одинаковых типах, то есть там копье на копье, одноручный меч на одноручный меч. Привет, привет, Димон. Ты сегодня не проспал? Спасибо, не сел запустить. На каком сервере имеешь в виду?
FPO stands for for placement only. It's just a placeholder. Don't worry about it.
Ну и вот они, скорее всего, монетки, которые дают как раз таки за Battle Pass, и на что их можно потратить.
So yeah, this is certainly something that another thing that we've seen plenty of comments about, and so we're hoping to be able to allay any concerns you might have about just how this works.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things to touch on is that stuff in the shop doesn't go away forever when it's gone. It does have a timer on it. A lot of the reason we have a shop set up like this right now is because the back catalog of items that we have will not be so extremely large that it makes a lot of sense to have a lot of categories where you filter in a lot of stuff. So in order to be able to get everything cycled through and have everyone have their...
Знаете, что это очень сильно напоминает? Кто играл Fallout 76, если вдруг такие есть, то это вот прям очень напоминает. Да, у тебя свет лучше на трансляции, чем у игровой компании. Слушай, знаешь, Я хотел сегодня как раз сделать сбор на свет, потому что у меня его нет. По факту у меня тут 2 лампы настольные и все. Но решил, что все-таки мне мышка нужна, потому что у меня убирает. Собираешься на работу? Ты без выходных, что ли?
You can just snag bundles like cosmetic armor sets, placeables, building pieces, emotes, and the like. It'll rotate out based on the size of the preview in the shop. So the Big Daddy preview, this one lasts 30 days. The medium-sized ones over here will cycle every 2 weeks. And the smaller ones, like these two over here, rotate every 48 hours.
40 hours, то есть 40 часов, то есть маленькие будут 40 часов, предложение среднее, блин, я уже посмотрел 24, по-моему, часа, и большое, я вот прослушал. Тур Ubisoft определяется за время под каждым набором. Добавляет игре стимул, повыешивает дальше. Ну да, Киану. Проблема тут, видишь, в том, что, к сожалению, вообще все игры, они в первую очередь всегда на PvE ориентированы. Это больше денег приносит. Поэтому... А косметика, ну, она, с одной стороны, это интересная вещь, но, с другой стороны, да, она по факту-то постольку-поскольку. Посмотрим, что по контенту будет. Самая-то главная часть будет именно контент. Они начали с Battle Pass'а, потому что очень много вопросов по Battle Pass'у и по шопу. Как это вообще будет работать? Вы видели, за Battle Pass там даются монетки, и вот эти монетки можно будет здесь тратить. В общем-то, схема та же самая, как Fallout 76. То есть все, что они сейчас рассказывают, прям один в один. Если кто играл, тот сразу поймет. То шоп прямо вот очень сильно мне напомнил.
Cool, great. That's a lot of nitty-gritty housekeeping stuff. And a lot of exciting stuff. I know it's like edge of your seat, riveting experience.
I guess before we move on from the shop and battle stuff, there's actually more notes that I didn't work into.
Yeah, please.
Я найду этого бородатого. Ты начало стрима видел? Ты бы докопался не до его бороды, а до его шляпы.
We have to, the seasons that come in, the ages will be in place for usually probably around 2 to 3 chapters, and each chapter is what will be updated every 90 days. So you have those, those 13 weeks to get the battle pass, get through everything that's in there, and then we'll put another one in its place and keep going forward with it. So that's kind of the update cadence you can expect for features as well. So whenever we add that new battle pass, like I mentioned before, we'll also be adding new content, new features, new things to do at the same time. Already touched on battle passes and challenges being.
Мне кажется, она в телефоне залипает.
The battle pass and the shop are intended to replace the old DLC packs going forward. So if we make new culture packs or new maps, we'd always like this to be the platform that we deliver it through. I know a lot of people had that question. I think that's kind of where the question of, will I still be able to get things on sale came from.
Yeah.
I also have one question.
Yeah.
There was a question if the battle pass rewards are account-based per server.
Yeah, I saw a comment about that on YouTube as well. It was literally my next bullet point.
Oh, great.
I saw a comment on YouTube saying that they hope things that you pay for will be account-bound, and that will be the case. Anything you buy that will be available, or anything you buy will be available on any character you have or ever make. So there's only one slight exception to this rule, and it's if we add free single-use items to the shop or those free slots in the battle pass, you only get to claim those once per character. But outside of that, every other thing that you ever have.
Ну, ответственно, за комьюнити. Вот она сейчас и подкинула вопрос, что будет с предметами, допустим, если ты играешь на официальном сервере и оплачиваешь, а потом, допустим, играешь в соло. Что с этими предметами? И вот он ответил на то, что все предметы, которые вы приобретаете, то есть они распространяются полностью на всех персонажей, которые вы создаете. То есть, ну, привязывается, грубо, к аккаунту. Дио, привет. Твич читает. Твой шанс. Нет, я сегодня без футболки. 4000 часов нам надоело делать банальные вещи. Вообще дают притчу мнение, что старые игроки вернулись. Посмотрим. Сейчас посмотрим, что они вообще по контенту завезут, потому что то, что они сейчас рассказывают, я не считаю контентом. Это просто шоп. Просто очень много вопросов, и, видимо, очень много пуканы загорелись у людей. Поэтому они в первую очередь решили сначала начать с этого, чтобы их не засыпали вопросами по поводу Battle Pass'а, и потом уже перейти к контенту. Ну, я так предполагаю.
Sweet, yeah. Were there any hot questions that we wanted to try and answer real quick before we get into?
Но мы же не играем еще в обнову, правильно, Мэйн? Сложно об этом говорить. Про читаков и так далее. Вообще изменения там должны быть и в плане стройки, которые богоюзили, строили, базы, до которых не дотянуться, прозрачные и так далее. То есть это все должны изменить. Потом я сейчас приду. Давай.
The intent is that we'll make sure that it's all like released all at the same time, but if something comes up that we're not we didn't see ahead of time, we'll let you know. Of course, we'll keep you updated on anything like that. Cool, great. All right. So what's next? Okay. What do we want to talk about next?
Magic.
Okay.
Yay!
We can do that.
It's time.
It's time, folks.
Wow.
So yeah.
Когда не понимал вот это вот выражение «фолкс».
As you might have guessed by this point, with it being titled The Age of Sorcery,
причем есть вилки.
includes sorcery.
It's Vader time.
Oh yes, it's time. As I just choked Twitch chat. So yeah, sorcery was a really important feature that we wanted to work into Conan Exiles for.
Вейдер тут был не самое лучшее примером к магии.
OG promised features from back in early access, and we're finally able to make good on that promise. And we took a lot of care to make sure that sorcery in Conan Exiles is represented in the way as accurate as possible to Howard's original work. So historically throughout the Conan fiction, it tends to be much more the world itself tends to be much more of a low fantasy fare. Yeah, very dark. Sorcery in general tends to be relatively seldom seen and is considered exceptionally dangerous to both people being affected by it and perhaps the caster or user if they're not experienced in their craft or if they're careless or reckless. And as with many things regarding, once you get a taste of extra dimensional power, when you have the fabric of reality at your fingertips, power is addicting, and so you just want more. And so oftentimes sorcerers in the fiction are depicted as power hungry.
One might say corrupt.
One might say corrupted, indeed. Where's this thing that I had? Hold on.
You're telling me there's no broomstick riding?
No, there's no broomstick.
То есть он говорит то, что магия вообще будет напрямую привязана к системе corruption.
Sorcery in Conan Exiles will not feature walking artillery units. You're not going to be launching. Where the heck? Sorry, I'm looking through this thing right now.
То есть что-то нужно будет вообще поддерживать.
That's a really important thing with sorcery in Exiles, or rather in Howard's universe is, we don't want you to be replacing combat in Exiles with sorcery. So I know there's also been a lot of concerns that this will turn into, high fantasy spell flinging duels and swords and bows and everything will be pointless, but that goes against our
Для храбрости.
cut from, right?
Yeah.
100 грамм.
Everything about Exiles is meant to be intimate, bloody melee combat, and that doesn't change even if you're a sorcerer. There are things that you can do from farther away that can influence combat, but at the end of the day, you've got to get in there and you've got to chop stuff down just like any barbarian would, because that's the nature of the universe.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to keep true in the sorcery system as well.
And so, yeah, sorcery is in the world also is typically depicted as sort of like an evil, dark art.
То есть он сейчас сказал, что...
And, you know, historically in fiction as well, you know, we know certain characters, certain notable characters throughout the
Посмотрим
universe.
про это.
Done all sorts of fun things with sorcery. So the picture behind us, also the green picture, is actually artwork from our legacy MMO, Age of Conan, featuring Tothamon, and of course this is False Doom from the classic Arnold Conan movie. But that's, yeah, to kind of give an example of like
зачем они вдохновлялись?
the sort of like kind of mood that you can expect when it comes to, you know, mastering or, you know, taking the dive into sorcery. Yeah, like you said, like you're not going to be throwing magic missiles or like light spells or whatever.
Zone of truth.
Yeah, we one of the design kind of directions that I gave, one of the tenets that when we started was that sorcery should not be a replacement for melee combat. We knew that when we made it, it should be different means to similar ends. So there will be different tools that you can use in the course of your gameplay. Much more nefarious and evil tools than the ones that you currently have, but there'll be alternative ways to approach similar problems and solve those problems, and ways to use people as the means to that end, right?
Yep.
That's kind of the MO for sorcerers in Howard's universe is they don't mind taking a couple people and cutting them down if it means advancing their own power.
Yep. So you can actually see behind us, behind Nicole here actually is...
Ну, то есть он говорит то, что в первую очередь они не хотели сделать так, чтобы магия вообще перекрыла, то есть бой, допустим, у вас не было такого, что вам приходилось бы выбирать, либо вам быть варваром, там условно, для ближнего боя, либо магом. То есть здесь нет такого, то есть это никак не будет мешать вам биться как в миле, так и использовать магию.
I can just hear my CEO like ready to teleport behind me and break my neck right now. Yeah.
Это японская доната в рублях. Ну да, в рублях.
So this is actually also a example of exactly how the sorcery system actually like functions in the game and how you cast or invoke various sorceries. So can you walk us through some of what we're looking at here?
I can give some context to this as well. So whenever you start playing the game, you'll encounter sorcery kind of organically. Part of the story that is being told is that sorcerers have been
Прикольную иллюзию такой создал.
in a pilgrimage style fashion sent out into different camps in the world, and you'll encounter the sorcerers, and if and when you take them down, you might find a mysterious map. And the map will lead you to somewhere in the world that will lead you to find a scary old tome. And that tome contains power, the essence of the corruptive power that lets you cast magical spells and perform rituals. And
ну, то есть все-таки, как в Каламитусе, нужно находить сначала какие-то книги.
The words of power are used to construct spells. So Andy, if you can actually snap back to that video of casting again, whenever you're looking at this set of stones that's coming up, what you're actually seeing is a representation of those words, and you put those words and syllables together to build a phrase that casts a spell. So the words of power are they're an ancient, mysterious language that at the core of its being gives you the ability to perform this magic because you've kind of absorbed that knowledge in learning it. So once you've gone out, you learn the system to unlock the words. I'm not going to spoil it all.
Слушайте, ребята, так-то баланс-то в этом все-таки есть. Просто кто-то говорил, что баланс будет сломан. Посмотрите, сколько у него карапта на нем сейчас, на текущий момент. То есть у него меньше половины хп и меньше половины стамины.
One thing that also you can see in the top right corner, my character has a lot of corruption, and you'll see actually corruption is now inexorably tied to sorcery in the game now.
Ну и что ты такой туда прилетишь вот с таким количеством хп?
corruption buildup on your character, up to a maximum of 50% corruption, as it's currently. And different spells will increase your corruption by different amounts. You can kind of see on this example here, like, obviously these values might be subject to change, but you can see here, like, 20% corruption, like so. Casting the spell, I believe.
This one requires 20%.
Requires. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So
okay.
there's kind of different power tiers of spells as well, and as you go into those higher power tiers, they require more complex reagents to cast a spell. That's an important thing to know, is that casting spells does require reagents because we want it to feel more ritualistic. We want it to feel slower paced and not like an action game where you're just pushing a button on the hotbar and flinging a spell out. It should feel like a ritual. So, collecting reagents, collecting the things you need to learn how to do the spells, all of that is part of making it feel more premeditated, more calculated, right?
Very much so, yeah.
As you cast spells, they generate corruption on your character. They make you more corrupt because magic at its core is...
Возможно, тогда будет смысл, да, то есть ее набирать с помощью ритуалов. Так, понял, она набирает с помощью ритуалов. Это скверно. Короче, чем больше на тебе corruption, тем более мощное заклинание ты можешь вообще использовать. Да. Может быть, даже и не половина, чтобы там какие-то топовые использовать. Прикольно.
Having a ton of corruption also causes your character to have very visible. Your character starts to suffer like very visible side effects. Yes, for allowing that corruption within your body.
This is independent of sorcery as well, but we added a really cool effect on the character that makes them become more gaunt and pale, and you know their veins start to stand out more with like a blackened blood.
Что там за полоска такая фиолетовая вторая?
It's really cool. And we've also added a spell.
Это как стамина или что-то?
A lot of people play the game and they want to do magic and they don't want to be nasty. So we also
Ему плохо.
actually lets you hide
Ему явно плохо.
that effect as well. And you can turn that on and off. It actually, I believe it lasts forever until you cancel it.
Damn.
Yeah, so this is the effect of being fully corrupted.
Yeah, and then this is me.
Это эффект именно от коррупта.
You don't see the dev casting window, and then there you go.
Now you're not gross and nasty anymore.
Подлечили.
You're a totally normal person, cool and good.
Высосал из него все силы.
Alright, let's show a couple more things off
here. So I don't know if you would know this, Dennis, but someone was saying, like, doesn't sorcery tie into the bracelets at all? Like, as in, like, something about you can't do sorcery stuff if you have a bracelet? Or is that...
Не, ну идея так-то прикольная.
I guess I won't divulge too much of it myself, but I'll give you the high level. The high level is there's a new shadowy, sneaky figure in the Exiled Lands. He has found a way to cast magic despite the bracelets. And beyond that, I think I'll leave it up to our creative lead, or our content lead, to give more details later.
Sorry, I will try to talk louder. I'm sorry.
No, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I can turn up. Okay. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that.
So I know we'll talk more about this probably, but someone had a question about regards to the impact that 3.0 will have on modding. I don't know if we're going to touch on that later, or...
I can talk about it a little bit now.
Okay,
but,
sure.
One big thing is we do have a relatively large window of time prepared for modders to be able to get their mods ready. I can't say exactly how long it will be because that might give away or set precedent for what we expect our launch date will be, and also our test live date. But we will go to test live. We will have a version of the dev kit that'll be ready to update mods. And there will be ample time for people to update mods before the game goes live. On top of that, the modability of the systems involved.
Если он договорит, я про моды расскажу, что он говорил.
We knew that when we made this, other people would either want to strip stuff out of it or add their own, or change it, create their own spells. It's all moddable.
Ну, в общем, модификации работать будут. Они поставят игру, то есть сначала на тестовый сервер, и, соответственно, дадут мододелам время на то, чтобы перед тем, как они запустят игру вообще в релиз с обновлением, чтобы они успели переделать модификации.
And also spawns a whole bunch of these.
Они завезут, вот он и говорит, что они завезут на тест-лайв, вот, и дадут мододелам время на то, чтобы исправить, ну, как бы, все поправить. И все все вот эти вот заклинания, которые будут в игре новые, они все поддержаны моддингу. Ну, уже-то вряд ли.
Yeah, some more cool details about this spell actually are that there is local light on your character that lets you see in the darkness better than other people see in it. And if there are NPCs in the darkness area, when you cast it, they'll actually start to cower in fear. And you can kind of go through and start to dismantle camps and kill things and take it apart methodically instead of just hitting one guy.
Да нету, конечно,
in a half-mile radius.
And kind of to touch on your part about making sure that sorcery feels like it's something that you want to like premeditate and calculate. Because of the kind of casting time or the process, like you definitely kind of want to do these things a bit ahead of time. And also some spells will, when you cast it, at least in my experience, I was a ways away from some mobs that weren't aggroing me, and as soon as when I cast the spell, they're like, you, and they just started running at me.
The one that you used was specifically to get the attention of enemies.
That one, yes.
Yeah, so...
But I did that with invisibility, too. And I cast invisibility, and the gray ones were like... And they just immediately came after me because I was too close to them when I cast it.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe that was a bug, I don't know.
No, invisibility does give you... It does decrease the senses of enemies around you as well.
Okay, gotcha.
Смотришь в записи, если что. Не переживай.
If you get too close, they will still attack you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, someone from chat was wondering if spells stack at all, so if you cast darkness.
Some spells do, some spells don't. So there are big ones that are big environmental changes, like we have a
Спасибо за подписку.
That will just blast lightning bolts down at enemies below. We have that darkness spell. We have another one called Call of the Dead that raises this deathly fog out of the ground, and zombies will fight alongside you. Those big ones that have an impact on the environment are specific to one area. If someone casts the lightning storm and you cast Call of the Dead underneath it, the lightning storm will go away because we can only allow one major environmental spell in the area. But if you cast darkness and you cast invisibility, yeah, you can run into darkness invisible.
Sweet. Let's see here. Let's show off this bad boy.
Я немножечко, единственное, не понял, то есть они говорили про агро во время каста. Честно говоря, вот не очень понял, что они имели в виду. Ну вот мостик, про который я говорил как раз таки в начале стрима. Вот он, мостик. Его можно разрушить.
Yeah, you can just whack it with a weapon. If an enemy puts an ice bridge up, you can smack it and strike it down. Similarly with the Bat Demon, by the time you guys get it, it'll be working the way it's supposed to.
Right.
If you shoot someone on a Bat Demon with an arrow, it'll knock them off right away.
Cool, okay.
And NPCs can hit people on the Bat Demon pretty consistently as well. I was testing it at the little undead camp next to the...
На самом деле, эта механика интересная, так достаточно. Она вроде простая, с одной стороны, кажется, а с другой стороны, она имеет такие интересные механики. Да, она будет работать там и там.
Your character itself at a fundamental level that requires wipe, or your base at a fundamental level. When we get back into the perk and attribute revamp later, one thing to talk about is like we will do an attribute wipe. So whenever you log in, it'll tell you your attributes have been reset, and you can just automatically go in and set them back up.
Yeah, we'll talk about the specifics of the perk like revamp as well in just a little bit. Here I'm showing off one of the sorceries called Detect Resources, which basically gives you
видимость врагов. Нет, ресурсов.
All sorts
of
uncommon or like mineable resources in a pretty wide area.
При этом, смотрите, карапта вообще немного надо. То есть и все ресурсы подсвечиваются.
Dense area, for example, and you don't know, you want to see where like all the bits were. You can use that to see what's going on with that.
Yeah, each resource has a different color and a little effect that appears, so you can learn the colors, learn the silhouettes, and know what you're seeing.
this fun little lad is a demonic portal. This is one of the new buildings that you can create with the update.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Демонический портал, новая,
What does it do?
новый станок, который можно поставить.
You don't need to absolutely rely on the map room to get around, and for people playing on SIPTA and modded maps especially, this will be a great way to be able to actually move around the map. It acts as like a placeable, any other placeable.
Ну, может, это изменится.
You would put in a base, so
расположение ресурсов в плане.
Land claim and decay rules applied to it. But basically, any number of these that you create for your clan will be able to access each other. And when you step inside the portal, some stones will appear and show you the names of the buildings as you've placed them out. And the stones actually point to those buildings in space. So if I'm at New River and I'm looking one at the volcano, the stone will be pointing north toward the volcano. And it'll give you an indication of which direction you're going whenever you go from point A to point B. And you can link multiple of these together. Any that your clan builds will all be linked together.
На своего рода телепорт, как понимаю.
So that's just a little taste.
Покажите, как работает.
I do want to then move into talking a little bit about how corruption, or so moving into the perk system, which we just mentioned, there will also be the ability to corrupt your perks in addition to that. So first we're going to kind of give a little context of the upcoming perk revamp, and then also show you an example of what corrupting those perks actually looks like. So first, we're going to show this off here. Actually, let me do a quick edit. And then, nope.
Показали бы, как работает телепорт этот. Демонические врата не показали.
As Dennis said, you're gonna not lose all your, but you're gonna have all your perks or all your attributes reset, and then you'll be greeted now with this updated perk window. Some of the names are out of date in this video. At the time that it was taken, I believe Charisma is now called Leadership.
То есть сейчас добавили вариацию, когда мы набираем там 10 очков, 20 условно. Добавили вариант с выбором то или то.
One of the main goals of the perk revamp was to...
This is actually important.
What?
It's actually important to talk about.
The leadership?
Yeah. So, because there's a lot of people that pointed this out, Savage is gone.
Yes!
Yeah.
But the new names actually bring Savage back.
Yeah!
So, Charisma is now Authority.
Authority!
So that becomes the A where Grit is now. Grit moves down. And Craftsmanship is something that starts with...
Крит.
We just changed these names a couple of days ago, so it's really hard for me to remember.
Yeah.
But maybe if Quaglon's watching, he can drop me the
expertise?
Oh, is it expertise?
I think it is.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
so Savage is back.
So everyone that was sad to see Savage gone, Savage is back.
So Savage.
Okay, Savage, right. Not Savages. Like,
right, because we did cut Survival off the bottom.
Right.
Savage.
I guess there's a ton to talk about with perks and attributes specifically, so... Is there anywhere you want to start?
Gosh, I mean, I know...
Or would you like me to start?
Either way is fine. I mean, I know that with the revamp, one of the main goals was to make it more like a one-to-one sort of experience, where like each level you get one attribute point that you're gonna put in. So that makes things a lot easier in my eyes. To like kind of plan your builds better, or like calculate your builds better. And in addition to that, while streamlining the process, you can see here that we're also now adding a choice of perks.
Какой-то перк. Честно говоря, не помню, что это за Savage.
So in Strength's example here, you get, you see everything up. Okay, my hand got cut off. You see everything at the very top, and then you get the choice. And then, when you get the third perk, you get to choose that, and then the fourth one is another choice. And you can see the choosing option here. And that goes for all the attributes on the list. Is there anything else that I'm missing here?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on it. The whole idea here is to really shake up what's available in terms of character customization and progression, and make it easier to plan for stuff. So that's why we went down to 60 points total, because the level cap is still 60. You get 1 point every time you level.
Level cap не изменили. Также 60 остался.
max out 2 of them and then have 2 at 10 points each, or do I want to split one of those 10s into 2 5s? And we tried to make the choices at the 10 and 20 level a hard choice to make. So you're really deciding between like 2 very, impactful things whenever you get to those points. And we hope that leads to a lot of variety in builds. And right now when you play, there's kind of like 3 builds that you might use depending on which activity you're doing, and for the most part it's pretty fixed. So changing this and allowing more customization and a little more personalization, I think will make you feel more like you own your character. And
Ну, то есть действительно такое билдостроение небольшое появится, потому что вам нужно будет выбирать из 2 неплохих достаточно перков один.
Like each of those perk choices, like you said, is like very I want to say the word like specialized. So it's like they're 2 like really powerful options, but of course picking one locks you out of the other one until you respec. And so yeah, you have to like make one of those hard decisions that I like to make when I'm min-maxing my character, thinking I'm min-maxing my character, of like which direction I want to go.
Yeah.
We have some questions on like how weight or encumbrance is handled.
So it's actually built into that expertise perk by default,
which is craftsmanship on this screen or this video. But yes,
yeah. So, but we added minor bonuses to all of the attributes as well. So if you invest in strength, you'll also get some more encumbrance as well too, because obviously it makes sense that someone who's more strong should be able to carry more.
Right.
So encumbrance will still be on that. It'll be on that bottom attribute that you see here. We increased the amount of encumbrance that you get per point, and this actually goes towards all of the attributes. Like the amount of strength that you get at the end of spending 20 points in strength now is similar to the amount that you would have got from spending 50 points in the old system. It's just squashed down. So you gain a lot of power a lot faster. It's a little more front loaded. But in the end, you'll still reach about the same amount of power.
Okay. And 2 other really quick questions.
Yeah.
You may touch on this, I don't know. Will armor and weapons give attribute points?
That's important because
I was just looking up like good call.
Yeah,
thank you.
It also goes into this build system as well. So previously, whenever you put on armor, it would add attributes, and then it kind of muddied the picture of what you were really spending your personal development points in, because you might not really realize, I put on this chest and it gave me
Я предполагаю, готово уже всё.
And now I don't have one of the perks I had before. So we took the attribute points themselves off of weapons and armor, and we added the derived stats. So you can see in the strength preview, it says that strength adds strength weapon damage and additional carry weight. Whenever you get a piece of armor that would have had strength before, now it'll have strength weapon damage. So you get what is derived from that stat on the armor piece directly, instead of getting the attribute, which then gives you the stat. At the end of the day, you're getting the same stuff, but the picture of what your attribute points are spent doing is much more clear.
And then are people's attributes going to be reset once the update?
Я думаю, что недолго ждать осталось по-хорошему.
When you log in, you'll get a pop-up. It'll be like the first thing you see that your attributes have been reset.
Скажут же еще.
And then you can just go right back into the menu and start fishing out what you want to spend.
Ну, говорили о том, что будут ли вещи давать атрибуты, как ранее, в принципе, да, точно так же будут давать.
Yeah,
I believe it's important housekeeping. Yeah, we have
because a lot of things have changed in terms of input and how you control the game, as far as like specifically building is one of the big ones. But along with that, we've made changes that let you kind of double bind inputs or customize your bindings a lot more. So like right now, if you don't want the crouch button to make you let go when you're climbing, you can change just the stop, like the stop climbing button and crouch and have those be separate buttons. So we decoupled everything and made a lot more customization of it. But as a result, send everybody back to the beginning, so there's no confusion about why is this button opening a menu and like crafting an item and making me jump all at the same time, or whatever wacky bindings might occur if we didn't reset them.
Yeah. So sorry in advance, but yeah, just know that you'll have to redo a lot of your binds. And just so you know, all this stuff, like all the opening your attributes, your inventory, all that, it's tabbed now.
Oh yeah. No more I to open the inventory. It's a little more keyboard friendly, being that I is a keyboard button. We changed it all to tab to open.
Yeah, but I mean it's right. It's more ergonomic.
Exactly.
You don't have to reach over.